I don't know. We can add them as we go, yes. All right, we are now live. So, hey guys, thank you for joining us today. It's the final day. It's almost here. So there's the hackathon winner announcement. So we want to go through and get those winners out. We had quite a bit of turnout. Before we do that, so we have some of our judges here. So Richard, I'm just reading off my list up top. So Richard, Michael, Lanners, Camrose, Neil, and Jason are on. Some others might be joining. So introduction to Sitecore Hackathon. So it was really funny this year where I heard from a couple of MVPs as well as some seasoned Sitecore people not really knowing about the hackathon. It's been running for quite a bit of time, since 2014. And I thought we're trying to release a series of videos shortly to kind of showcase what the hackathon is all about. It was done by all the judges, so hopefully it'll help. But one of the biggest misconception is it's run by a company or it's run by Sitecore. So the hackathon is community run. We pick up sponsors here and there from time to time from someone's typing. Oh, that's cameras. From time to time for prizes, but that's pretty much it. So it's community run, community judged for the past 2 years at least. We used to have Sitecore involved, but now we purely run it community based. The hackathon started back in 2014. We started with 11 teams, and since then we've picked up speed. A lot more people from a lot more countries started participating, and last year we did 82 teams and from 23 countries, and we try to change the format from year to year depending on the mood, what's been released, what needs to be tackled. This year, we had 95 teams. It's not the all-time record. All-time record is 97. We had from a couple of new countries, about 29 countries this year. So let's get to it, right? So this year's hackathon, the ideas were to, as an enhancement to XP, to help the content editors and marketers, enhancements to SXA, SPE to help the authors and marketers, and use of headless, either whether it's JSS or .NET Core. The judging process, pretty much the same ever since we started. We have our pretty judges. The prettiest one of all today is Richard. He's the brand new judge for this year. Una was supposed to be on, but she's dealing with a tree emergency at this moment. But typically, the judging process is very simple. We get all the submissions to us, and what we do is, actually, hold on, I think a couple more people join. Michael is here, so let me add Michael to the stream. We have all the entries coming in. At first, we go through and disqualify those who don't meet the criteria which we set out, which is all the requirements for the specific entry. Then the judges go through and they take care of every entry, try to score them, try to see if they, sometimes halfway through the process, they might figure out that someone is disqualified because the code isn't compiling or anything of that sort, like things which might disqualify them. If they don't, they score them. We go through multiple rounds, figure out who the winners are, and then, we can take it from there. I am going to, at this moment, pause. I will unmute our good friends who are judges. If you guys want to speak a few words, you're more than welcome to. If not, they chose to mute themselves. Okay. So if you guys want to speak a little bit, you are absolutely free to do that before we go into the
thanks, Akshay. I'll just say a few words. So this was definitely an exciting year. I thought there were a lot of great submissions. The quality of the modules that were being submitted, there were so many great ones, and I think everyone would agree that it was really difficult to narrow down the results. But we feel like we made the right decision.
Awesome.
And I was just going to say as well, that was my first year judging, so it's interesting being this side of the camera this time around, and just seeing how it all goes. So it was a lot of fun getting everybody's modules installed and trying to figure out how they work and judge them, I guess.
And you love the bribes too, right?
Yeah, those were great.
And then how many of you can say that you had a baby during the hackathon? There you go.
Hello, it's me. Yeah, I was busy, occupied with a few other things. We still managed to find a bit of time for judging. But as Mike West says, it was really good high standard this year. So it was quite difficult to pick a winner. So if you did just miss out, then it probably was really, really close. So it's unfortunate we did miss out, but it was quite difficult for us to choose. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. So yeah, good standard this year.
Kind of impressed you managed to hack a baby together in 24 hours.
How many project managers did it take for that?
Yeah. But yeah, as Michael said, I think the quality of the submissions was really, really good. There was a lot of good ideas. The great thing is, of course, all of those submissions are available on the GitHub repo. So we encourage everybody to actually go through them, take a look through them. There's some really, really good ideas, some of which I feel like they could be extended further, right, to actually have a complete module released regardless. So take a look. There's some neat ideas in there. And also thank you to Anders for the wonderful Dockerized boilerplate. That was really, really neat and really useful. I think several of us have found it quite useful for internal hacking as well.
Yeah, it made a huge difference this year. Spinning up the different solutions, it was just quick and easy. So yeah, but really, really great submissions. It was hard to pick some of the winners for some of the categories. It's just get better and better each year.
All right, awesome. Mike or Jason, do you guys want to say a few words? Otherwise, I could get into the next part.
Well, I was just going to say, when I know I joined a little late, but it's just great to see that the spirit of the community is going and people are really trying to push the envelope to make things better. But I just want to say, too, with the winners, when we do make that announcement, is the taxman will be in touch soon. They're going to take 90% of your winnings. You'll be left with the $5 coupon to McDonald's. Don't spend it all in one sitting. Be sure to get the tap water, and they might charge you for the cups, so bring it back.
It's great advice, Mike.
Yeah, and I'll echo what everyone else has said, that the level of performance every year does. We had some big submissions here, but like Mike said, it's always fun to watch the tweets coming through at the beginning. See some of the selfies happening during the process and how they change the course of 24 hours. And it's always fun watching the community aspect of it, just aside from looking at the quality of the submissions, but the community side of it's a lot of fun to watch.
Awesome. All right, so the next part, let's announce the winner, shall we? Ooh. So the first category is the best enhancement to Sitecore admin, so XP, XM, whatever you want to call it, which helps the content editors and marketers. And the winner is Team Palinka, another shot. So these guys did an amazing job, and like all the other judges were saying, it was kind of hard to pick who it was for some of these categories. It took us a little time to figure out who should be the winner. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring up Michael and his screen share. Give me a second. All right. Do you want to share the presentation view, Michael?
Yeah, I prepared a couple of slides, and
Okay.
I would like to quickly go through our submission.
Sure.
But first of all, I would like to say thank you to the organizers, because I know you spent so much time and you put so much energy into organizing this hackathon and this great community event. So the Team Palinka created an advanced workbox, or we can call a refurbished workbox. Just a super quick introduction about the team. Attila and I, we are the Sitecore developers in this team. We have 10 plus years experience in Sitecore development, and Peter was our front-end developer. He also has 10 plus years experience in front-end development, and we are from Hungary. The purpose of our module was to have a new and cleaner UI for the workbox, providing a better user experience, provide more information about items and about their workflow states. Also, we wanted to create a kind of easy or provide an option to have an easy workflow state change. And also we wanted to add some quick actions on the items, like opening items directly in content editor or showing the most relevant information about them. The module is running on the latest Sitecore. We use Docker for development, and we use the provided boilerplate template. The client application uses React with Redux. We followed the Helix principles, and also we utilize the Sitecore content serializations. And let's have a quick demo about the application. So this is the Launchpad. We added a shortcut to the Launchpad. Next to the Workbox, you can find the new Workbox icon or the new Workbox shortcut. Let's open. It has a clean, let's say clean UI. There is a workflow selector. This selector contains every workflow which is available in the current CMS. If you select the workflow, there are some columns. The different columns represents a state of the selected workflow. And if a workflow has 3 states, then 3 columns will be displayed. If a workflow has more state or 4 state, then 4 columns will be displayed. Yes, so this workbox utilizes a drag and drop options, so you can state workflow states by drag and drop. So if you want to change a workflow state, you just have to drag the item and move to the proper column. I want to highlight that you can drop the item only into the next unloved state. And also you can provide some comment. And you can see that, for example, from awaiting approval, you can move back to the draft state, or you can move forward to the approved state. There are some things which we had to implement. For example, the suppress comment options, which are available on the workflows by default. So we were using the sample workflows, so let's check the suppress comment checkbox. In that case, if we move our items to the awaiting approval state, it will be the workflow state will be changed automatically, and you don't have to provide any comment. If I move back, of course, I have to provide some comment. And also there is a appearance evaluator type, which allows you to hide different workflow commands based on different conditions. This is also used in our, so this is also evaluated during the drag and drop. So right now, we are in the team Palinka workflow, which is a special workflow created for this demo. And we have an item in the pending approval. By default, I can move these items back to the draft state or to the pending publish or the publish state. But let's hide one of the comments by adding this comment state evaluator type. This will hide the first. This will hide one of the workflow commands. So let's refresh our board about the workflow state. And if I try to move the item, I can see that I cannot move anymore to the pending publish state because it's hidden right now. And yes, as I mentioned, we have added some quick actions to the board. So on that board, you can open the item directly in Content Editor, and it will open directly to the selected language. And also we created a detail page for each item, which provides different information, such as path or language version number. Also, it displays if the current item has any personalizations configured or multivariate test is in progress. Also displays the history of the workflow history of the item. And I think that's all. Of course, there are a couple of further improvements, and I think we will continue the development of this module. And that's all. Thank you for your attention.
Awesome. Thank you so much. As I said, it was really interesting watching this and you playing with this. I think Michael was saying, I can add Michael to this, right? Michael was saying that it would be awesome if you continued down this path and did quite a bit more. Let me add a couple of because this did catch our eye when we were looking at it. So if the judges have anything to say, I'm more than happy to.
Yeah, it had it kind of reminded me of the Sitecore author toolbox, where you take something that existed and then just totally revamp it to feel more modern, and then make improvements on it. And you took something that people have enjoyed or maybe not over time, and you've made it into something that's so much better. This had a feel kind of like what you'd get in a Jira or some other tool where you do the drag and drop, and that is highly intuitive. It's just a much cleaner UI. You're basically getting a dashboard rather than just like a laundry list in a single pane. So yeah, it's really neat, and I'd like to see this become a more polished and ready for production module.
Thank you.
And then you've already got the built-in horizon colors, so Sitecore can just pick it up easily afterwards.
And Anders, you were saying about the security and stuff, right? So to be able to pull in security based on the currently logged in user would add a different dimension to this one.
Yeah. So have editor roles taken into consideration. What I really liked about this idea was that it just takes the built-in functionality and makes it so much more useful with 24 hours effort. It really shows both the power of the existing Sitecore API and also how much you can do with it and extend it. It's fantastic module. So
anyone else, guys, before we let Mihail go?
Yeah, as you can say, it's not necessarily about these modules looking particularly great, although it does help. But I think given the time for this module to look great in 24 hours is it's really commendable. Really good.
Awesome. Thanks again for giving us some time today, Mihail. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Congratulations, Team Palinka.
Yep. All right. Moving on. So the next category we have is the best enhancement to SXA. This was won by Alpha Centauri. So Rob and Roy did a good job of this. We'll let them present it. Let me bring Rob on real quick. Remove some of these guys. Hey, Rob.
Hey.
Hey, do you want to share your screen so I can add it to the stream?
Yep.
And you had mentioned that your teammate wanted to join too. Do you know if they joined or?
I don't know if he.
That's okay, as long as you present, right?
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Can you see my screen? Okay.
Let me see.
Might be looking. Let's see here.
Yeah, there you go. Can you increase the font just a tad bit?
Pardon me?
Can you increase the font? It's too small, I think.
Oh, sure.
All right.
Is that better?
Yeah, I'll let you present.
All right, perfect. So I don't have too big of a fancy presentation here, but let me give you our background, our team background here. We've been working with SXA for several months now, and one of the things we've noticed is there's too much, for lack of a better technical word, fluff on a lot of the pages, because you get all the styles, all the scripts coming in with XXA, and basically you have a lot of pages that don't need all that stuff. They only need the bare minimum to display what they need to display. So for instance, like maps, grids, stuff like that, you probably wouldn't need that on a simple text page. So what we did when we were presented with this hackathon was like, okay, all the ideas, let's do something that'll really improve XXA, because we have issues and we've heard of these other issues for speed. So this is our chance to really implement some kind of an idea that would work. And so that's what we did. So let me start by showing you one of our pages here. This is a legal page, very simple, just text and everything. And we'll get to that one later. The way this is set up is we have this page design called just page. And what this will do is take our base theme, and our base theme only has certain stuff we need for our pages, most of our pages. And legal would be one of them. So out of the box, I didn't say out of the box, but with our basic theme, legal is just going to use whatever's in our basic theme. So it doesn't need Bing Maps connector, Google Maps, Horizon editing theme. So it'll never have any of that stuff. It just uses what's right now in our basic theme. So when you use source on this, the scripts are pretty small. We'll zoom in a little bit here. So we have just our little script library here, and then we got Bootstrap. Normally you would need Bootstrap for most sites. Then we got our own little theme for the style, but very minimal stuff. So this page would load very fast. Don't need a lot of stuff. Go into our home page here. We've added a lot of stuff. So this one's going to need some more. It's going to need more than what the base needs. It's got this map, got this banner, different text. It has a video. So for this one, this is our home page. We're going to override our base theme. And when we override our base theme, we can add whatever we need else in additional. So right now, you look at the bottom here. It has all the stuff that's listed in the selector. But let's say, so here's the maps. But let's say we needed grids. So back here, we'll add a grid theme, save it, and we'll publish it. Okay, let me refresh this. It's faster to search for here. So now we have a grid theme. So there's a CSS for it, and then there's the script for it. So it's really easy to add and easy to remove, but you're not having that on every page, which will definitely increase the speed of pages. You know, if you worked on SXA projects, you know, like they can get pretty bogged down because there's just a lot of stuff you don't need. So that was our goal, to do that. And we created, like I said, we created this page design page, and anything that uses that will be able to select those components and use the base theme and so on and so forth. And let's quickly go over the code, what we did, but I won't get too technical here, but let me zoom in here. Let's see better here. Let's see if we can zoom in a little better. Of course, it's not letting me zoom, but hold on here. Give me a minute here.
You could do like Control plus or a Control mouse wheel should also work.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not.
Yeah. Well, here we can just. Let's see. I can always paste it into something else, but let me paste it into Word here real quick. All right, hopefully that's a little bit better. Okay. All right, so with the SXA layout page, it's pretty simple. We have this bundler that we overrid with the generate links, new theme provider. Pretty simple. So now we're generating everything in the XSA layout, which is commonly used throughout every page. And the code behind for that, grab that too. Apologize for the formatting here, but I'll get to the good parts here. So the code for that inherits from this access links generator with XXA, and this is where we're overriding any functionality that we need in order to display those different scripts and different styles. And using the the list back here.
Hey, Rob, I think the demo should be good. We don't have to get into the code if we don't need to get into the code.
But yeah, so that would be reading over here from these base themes that we selected. So, but yeah, as you can see though, you're looking at you're only getting stuff that you need on these pages, and you're not getting all that extra stuff that you would normally get. So page loads are faster, and you're not using anything that you don't need. So,
all right, awesome.
So that's about it.
You guys, any other judges have any comments you want to?
Did you happen to take any measurements about like page size that was reduced through this on average?
So we started to. We didn't have any like major big pages. We do know from our own experience working on other sites with SXA, that it definitely did improve from what we saw, just based on that. So at the time for the hackathon, we just had pretty simple pages. So you can tell that they loaded faster, but at the same time, we'd want to test it on like a production page where, we have an established site where where it's hosted in some Azure, not locally, because locally is usually going to be pretty fast to begin with. But that's the test. But based on what we've known in the past and what we've done, we know that that's a big issue with having all that extra stuff on there.
Great. Glad you got it sorted out.
Yep.
Awesome. Anyone else? Or otherwise, Rob, thanks so much for making time to showcase your solution.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate everything you guys have done, and this has been awesome. Can't wait for next year.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, on to the next. I hope you guys like this format because I think you get a chance to see the demo and the idea behind it. So the next one is best use of SPE to help the content authors and marketers. And the winners are BlampStack. I know Michael was excited for this one. So I have Gabe. So let me put some of these guys out and bring Gabe in. All yours.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Akshay. Thank you for all the organizers, all the judges. This is such a great event, and it really cannot go as smoothly as it does without the effort. So definitely appreciate that. Unfortunately, I'm having some machine-related issues this morning, so I can't do a live demo that as I would like. But I'm going to use my video submission to just walk through some functionality as if I were demoing live. At a high level, I built two utilities that are purely using PowerShell, and they rely on Microsoft's Cognitive Services Text Analytics API. And if you don't know what that is, it's an API service that Microsoft offers as part of their Cognitive Services collection. And it effectively provides you insight into text using natural language processing without any sort of pre-requirement or knowledge of machine learning kind of on the backside of it. So I chose Text Analytics API, and specifically to help facilitate content authors and marketers. I thought about sentiment and sentiment analysis, which refers to the use of natural language processing to extract and quantify sort of a judgment on a piece of text as to how that may be perceived to an audience, right? And so Microsoft does provide an API that allows you to send over some text and get back some scoring. And so a lot of this was interacting with an API that I hadn't previously. And one of the way that I've done the demo here is I ended up taking some content from Sitecore's site, and I created a few demo items in my list. The tools themselves, the utilities, are accessible in the ribbon using the review tab. You'll see here we have cognitive text analytics, and I have a sentiment analyzer and a keyword analyzer. Talked a little bit about sentiment analyzer. Keyword analyzer is along the same lines. It's an API, plug in some content, get back something. And so this suite of tools is sort of twofold, accessible both in the ribbon, and if you were to right click on the content under the scripts context menu, you'd also be able to sort of trigger the menu here. So in this example, I took some content. I'm going to go ahead and execute sentiment analyzer against the title. It's just one sentence, and it's a pretty, straightforward sentence. There's not much to it. When I run it, I get a menu, and it allows me to select the field that I want to analyze on this item. And this is dynamically generated. If you have multiple languages, that's also supported. Microsoft's APIs are robust in that way. But in this case, I'm just going to say I want to analyze the title field, and I want to analyze it in English. When I can hit continue, it's going to build out basically the call that the API is expecting, and we're going to return back effectively a confidence set for the sentences that have been analyzed. In this scenario, it's one sentence, title. And so what we'll see at the top here is an overall field content sentiment. In this case, it came back as neutral. And below that, we'll show a breakdown sentence by sentence of the confidence scores for each one of the sentences that came through. So in this case, the sentiment was neutral. We can see the sentence that was analyzed and the confidence scores, which are broken down positive, neutral, and negative. And it's sort of a scale from 0 to 1. And so we can see the neutral confidence score got a bulk of it, and so it did end up with neutral. That's with one sentence. I'm going to just show you real quick what that looks like from the perspective of multiple sentences, a paragraph, if you will. If we send the same sort of call, we can see here that we have a breakdown sentence by sentence. It is extracting each sentence based off of the break in the sentence, the period, and then it'll return back that breakdown. To kind of showcase how this works with differences in content, right? That was pretty neutral content. In this example, I have a negative content demo item, and I've added the word foolish, right? Our foolish competitors, just kind of, obviously being negative in this connotation. When I send this over, we can see that sentence, when analyzed, came back as negative, simply because of a word, right? One word can throw off sentiment for content, and that's sort of what the thought behind this was, helping content authors and marketers who may not be looking for anything specifically technical, but maybe just a quick, high-level AI-based review of the content that they're submitting. And so this works sort of across the board. In my demo, which the video's out there, and I do plan to have a blog post. I'll post it there to give you a good breakdown. You can sort of see how that changes as we change content. We can get to positive, and then inevitably we have scenarios where they're mixed as well, right? If we have maybe a positive sentence and then a negative sentence, kind of bring it all together, it's mixed, right? So that's sentiment analyzer. And then finally, keyword analyzer. I kind of mentioned that before, but it's same concept, right? The menu is going to look the same, and the field selection is going to look the same as well. In this case, we're effectively saying, hey, go and get us all of the keywords in this paragraph. I can see this being useful for populating meta tags. Perhaps you have meta tags that drive your search within the indexes, and this could potentially be automated, but it's just a way to extract the very keywords within a set of content. So again, big thanks to the Sitecore Hackathon organizers and judges. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let me just add some of the judges in if they have any comments.
Judging this topic is obviously difficult because there are a lot of great SPE modules that were that were presented or submitted into the hackathon. One of the reasons why I felt that this was a really good contender is because of the kind of how polished the module was. So, considering that, all of the analysis capabilities are a Microsoft feature, the focus is more on best use of SPE in a way that is, it's using the integration points that come with SPE, the quality of the output that you see in the different dialogues. That really plays into how ready is this for a marketer, content author. And I think as a group, we felt like this was just a really good polished tool that in just a little bit more work, it would be ready to be used in production.
I'd be wary of setting a precedent for future hackathons, but I did think this had good use of emojis in it, carefully considered but actually useful, and I liked that.
Awesome. All right. Thanks so much, Gabe, for your time to present this. It's awesome. And
thank you.
See you around. Have a good day.
Thanks.
All right. On to the next one. So our final category was the best use of headless with either JSS or .NET Core. The winners are the anonymous Sitecore Raholics. So I'm gonna add Sebastian to the stream. Remove some of these guys. Sebastian, you want to share your screen so I can add that to the feed, please? All right. There you go. All yours.
Thank you very much. As the others have mentioned, I also would like to take the opportunity first to, on behalf of our entire team, thank the organizers and judges for the effort put into it. It's the first time that we have participated, and definitely not the last. We have had so much fun doing this. So yeah, thumbs up for that. Really great. We are, all three of us, probably what you would label as Sitecore dinosaurs, having been on the journey for quite some time. And we still face a lot of projects where a lot of the simple features in Sitecore, namely the basic content management, is still predominant. And we were kind of longing back to the days of Sitecore 4, where simplicity and speed were much, let's say, better when you were only focusing on the content management part, and when you don't need a lot of the other features. Well, then we thought it would be good to initiate something where we could make those kind of sites faster. So we have given birth to Speedo, Sitecore Poor Man's Experience Edge, and exemplified with a site for dad jokes, because we love those. So get them before your neighbor is our principle. The concept is very simple. The content manager will scrape and persist layout service responses and media items, give a persistent storage on publish, and then the rendering host will read the content from there instead of from the CD. Media will be served statically from the rendering host using the file server option available. In an image, it can be exemplified like this. On the left side, we have the classical setup with the Sitecore CM, publishing to the CD web database, and then having the rendering host with the layout service make requests to there, providing the pages needed. In Speedo, we remove the CD part, introduce the storage option, which in our case so far is the file system. It could be extended to be blob storage or any other storage that you would want to use, and then the rendering host is making simple reads. So we are basically making a static pages that can be read. Some of the benefits, it's working like a cache without actually using the memory cache. It's very fast. You can have multiple runtimes, share the same persistent content if you want to. It's easy to geo-replicate it, usable by AKS, and as I said, could also have other storage options supported. And then you don't need that many CDs, in fact, none at all. So it's also quite scalable. Right now, it works for XM without session personalization. Images cannot be cropped, and we are not at this moment clearing deleted items. So there is, of course, still work to be done. Those are some of the areas where things can still be done. Let me go to the browser instead. And here we have the site. This is the sample site that we have created, which is reading content from the file storage. There is a mapping to the Docker container. So if I go to my file system, I have all the different files placed as JSON files in the structure that corresponds to the structure within Sitecore. So we have the path, and then ending with the language version of the item in question. If I go to to the site now and click around, I will be able to see the different pages. And if I choose to delete everything here, just to show that it is actually reading from there, go back to the site and start clicking around, well, then I will get the page not found, which is expected since I have just deleted everything. Going into Sitecore, we have our site structure and different banners and stuff like that in here. I want to recreate my site to show that we are actually doing what I said. So I'll publish the site. That should create the files that I just deleted. There we go. Go back. Here is the folder I deleted in before. I have all the JSON files back in place. Can also go out, see the media items that are being used is also published to here. And if I go back to my site, and take the same page, and then we are back with whatever is there. I could, of course, also manipulate the files directly for content if I wanted to. So that is the basic principle of what we have done. There are a few projects in Sitecore supporting that. There is the publisher dealing with making the snapshot of the site that we have published. There is the request handler rendering, which is where we are cutting out the CD, so to say. If I go back here, I wanted to go to the logs, show the file that we have just been running. I'm also able to see, let me just search for Speedo. Down here we can see that the snapshot is, the publish has been started and the snapshot is being created, and here we output exactly what is being published from the site in question. As an add-on to the site, which is not Speedo in itself, we created a small integration to a service in order to get the content that we wanted it. So whenever you create an item, it could be a banner, call it whatever, then we go and fetch a dad joke at random at a service that provides them and publish those. If we go here and ask the question that we wanted it to answer, is it faster? We have run some tests on this very simple site, and at first we are using the normal setup with HTTP requests to the layout service, and we have a concurrency level of 100 with 1,000 requests. And here we can see that the longest request is at 1434 milliseconds, and the median is at 712. If we go to the Speedo setup with the test we ran here, then we can see that the median has dropped to 261 and the longest request is only 458. So we have been conservative and said it's at least twice as fast, and think that we achieved what we wanted it to. I think that is all I had, and big thumbs up to both Per and Steven, which are not present.
Nice, thanks, Sebastian. It was an interesting demo for sure, and it was an interesting submission. Any of the judges have any questions, comments?
I think this is a hot area at the moment, right? The Sitecore headless Experience Edge. So this will give everybody a good poor man's intro, as Sebastian said, into headless if they don't have the Experience Edge themselves. So this at least almost replicates it locally. So it's a nice little addition, I think.
Yeah, and Sebastian, have you guys tried out in the production? I know this is all local, right? Have you guys tried out in like a production or like an external environment, publicly available network kind of thing?
No, not in production. It's it still has a few flaws that needs to be fixed, but I'm expecting that we will.
And why would someone choose this over, like, say, they haven't released it yet, but the Experience Edge on Sitecore XM, right? Like, what would this give prospective users as opposed to the Experience Edge?
Well, there is definitely a cost matter to take into consideration of using this instead of the Experience Edge, and we believe that we can also make it faster. But let's see.
Yep. And being able to replicate this locally as well, right, Sebastian? You can run this on your local machine, whereas Experience Edge you cannot.
Yeah, from a development perspective.
True. Yeah, absolutely true.
Anyone else, guys? No, if not, Sebastian, thanks again for your time. It was really nice watching the video. Say congratulations to your teammates as well, and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you very much. Same to all of you.
All right, bye.
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 All right, almost there. So I just wanted to share a couple of links with you guys. I don't know if you noticed with the rest of them, we shared the QR codes for you to get to the solutions directly, but this will get you to all the repos for the hackathon, including the past years. So you could just search by the team name. The year is denoted towards the end, 2020, 2021. So have a look at the repos. One of the best things we ever did. I think it was Anders' idea. It seems like he comes up with all nice ideas. But those really help out. I use them for reference myself from time to time. So go take a look at that. This would be pushed to YouTube. So again, you can rewatch it or watch it for the first time if you're not live with us. And then also the link to the Sitecore Hackathon page itself, where we'll update the links as well as the winners and things of that sort. So hopefully this was helpful to actually see the demo. Again, thanks to all the judges, the ones who are here, as well as the ones who are missing because of prior commitments. It takes a lot of work. It's not easy. It takes their own personal time to look at the entries, go through it, and judge. So thanks again for everyone for joining us. Guys, any last words before we end the broadcast?
I'm still waiting for my brown envelope.
Oh.
So what?
Congrats.
All right, guys, have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope this was helpful.
Thanks. Cheers.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks to all the teams. Thanks everyone for taking part. It was great to see some submissions and some great ideas.
See you next year.
Cheers.
Until next year.
See you.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.